Scholars, welcome to another live PEP class. This evening we're going to be doing our curriculum, continuing with our monthly focus on the curriculum. We're going to dive into as I play for you our drill of. So remember, we have 5 live PEP classes per week and 6 live CSEC classes per week, in addition to the over 500 videos that we already have on the Kemet Masai Academy channel with all topics from PEP math, CSEC math, and other exams, math for the exams. So just go out. Here is the schedule. Hello, CSEC students. I know you are busy preparing math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. A very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC math. We're going to look at common errors, demystify everything. Make sure you every video in series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello scholars. Did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one error or one mistake? Well, absolutely true. We're going to be looking at common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand. All right, here we go. So I want to welcome all those who are joining us in the chat from YouTube, from Facebook, from Twitter, and other places. Also in studio, we have some scholars waiting patiently backstage. We have Jaden, Coleman, Shalicia, Amari, and John. Who is that? Jabari. Welcome, Jabari. Welcome, guys. Test out your mics. Let me hear you. Let me hear you, guys.
Good evening, Miss.
Good evening. No. Okay, so here we go, guys. Another set of questions for the curriculum based. All right, so here we go. Jaden. Jaden, what you eating? Dinner? Jaden eating dinner. No, Coleman, I'm not hearing you. Mike's not working, huh? Seem like some working. Test them. Try talking. Let me hear.
Miss, can you hear us? Yes, fine, please. You can hear us.
Miss, can you hear us?
Please. Miss, can you
Jaden
hear
says.
us, Miss? Hello, Miss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Coleman. Something. Not hearing Coleman. Mm-mm. Shalicia. Oh Lord.
Yes, Miss.
Jabari.
Yes, miss.
Let's hope the mics. All right, let's hope the mics sort themselves out. Oh Lord. All right, so let me see now. So I have Jaden is still with us. I have new questions every day. Every day I bake
Yes.
a new batch.
Yes.
Yes, every day I bake a new delicious batch of goodies for us to eat. So, Coleman, can I read question one for me? Coleman. Oh, I was having problem with Coleman's mic. Coleman not working. Jaden, question one. What's happening tonight?
Miss, can you hear us? Miss will have to restart. Miss will have to
Not hearing
restart
my.
the stream.
I'm hearing John. I'm hearing
Miss
John.
Anamori.
Um, I'm not hearing call number one.
Oh, Miss, you're not sharing your screen. Miss will cannot see your screen because she's not sharing it. Actually, Miss, the screen is black.
Cause it's what?
It's black, Miss. Miss, you can't hear me.
All right, let me try again. Let me try share the screen again. Some glitches going on this evening, huh? I don't know where Madison is. People asking for Madison.
Miss,
Maybe she soon come.
she's on the YouTube. She's on the YouTube. I guess the room is full.
Oh, the room's full. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, Miss. Yes, Miss. Miss, I remember you
Yes,
Okay,
gave
miss.
us
so
a question extra. Okay.
John Reed.
Not home alone.
John Reed.
Number one. Number one, use a diagram of the clock to answer the questions that follow. Number one, use a diagram of the clock to answer the questions that follow. A. What angle is formed by the minute hand and hour hand at 6 o'clock? A. What angle is formed by the minute hand and the hour hand at 6 o'clock?
All right,
Okay,
6 o'clock. So, what
Miss,
angle is formed?
Miss, a straight, Miss, a straight,
Miss, a straight angle.
How many? How many
Miss,
degrees is
108,
that?
Miss,
180 degrees.
180 degrees.
Long hand would be like that. Short hand like that. Am I correct?
Yes, Miss.
John is saying this angle is formed there, which incidentally is the same as the angle formed on the other side, right? So this is angle on a straight line. So John is saying it's a straight angle, 180 degrees, and that's correct. All right. So next one, part B. Amari.
Okay, Miss.
Amari.
Miss, can you hear me? Miss? She can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead,
B.
Amari.
What What angles are formed by the minute hand and hour hand when it is 2 o'clock? B. What angles are formed by the minute hand and hour hand when it is 2 o'clock? Miss, the minute hand would be at the 12, Miss. And Miss, the hour hand
And the overhand.
would be at the 2, Miss.
Okay. It says what angles, plural. Because really, once we form one angle, we automatically form at least another one. Did you know that?
Oh, Miss.
So once you have an angle, once you have this angle there, that angle, you automatically form that one. See? So,
Mm.
so they're saying
Miss,
they want both angles. They want this angle here and this automatically formed angle there. What are the angles at 2 o'clock?
Miss,
I see
and
person
Miss, and
saying
acute.
acute. I want measurement. I want the measurement for the angle. That's what so that are formed. The angle that's formed between the 12 and the 2. How many degrees is that angle?
Miss, what you said?
I want the measurement of the angle.
Okay.
How many degrees? Who can tell me
Miss,
that?
am I supposed to tell you the accurate degrees?
Yeah.
Or is
Miss, an acute angle and a reflex angle. So 45 degrees and
Yes. Acute and
315 degrees.
reflex. No. You're estimating. I want the exact measurement of the angle that's formed between the 12 and the 2, and also the other angle formed anti-clockwise between the 12 and the 2. Both angles I want. No, they're not 90 degrees. Those who are saying 90 degrees, those who are saying 45 degrees, it's not a 45-degree angle. So who can
Miss,
work for me? Who can tell me how to work that out? I want the measurement of the angle formed clockwise between the 12 and the 2, and anti-clockwise between the 12 and the 2. What are the measurements for those angles?
Miss, is the acute angle less than 45 degrees or more?
All right, let me show show you how to work it out. Let me tell you what to do. This angle, yes, it is an acute angle between the 12 and the 2, right? So we can express this as it takes up 2 parts out of the 12 parts. We can do it like that. We can say 2 over 12 times 360, since the full circle is 360 degrees. So we can express 2 o'clock as 2 hours out of the 12 hours. We can also express it as 10 minutes out of the full 60 minutes. That's another way we can write it, as 10 over 60 times 360. Whichever way, we're going to end up with the same answer, because 2 over 12 cancels to 1/6, 10 over 60 cancels to 1/6. So 1/6 of 360, that is what? 60 degrees. So this angle here, the acute angle is 60 degrees clockwise. The reflex angle that's formed then would be the full 360 plus the 60. So the reflex angle would be 300 degrees. So whenever you're asked to calculate the degree measurement that is formed by the long hand and the short hand, you can choose to express it in terms of hours out of the full 12 hours on the face of the clock, or you can choose to express it in terms of minutes, the full 60 minutes, that 1 hour, one full rotation, that's 1 hour. Whichever way you choose to express it, you're going to get the same answer. Just put that from times 160 degrees and you will get the answer. So we have about 3 more such questions. So I'm giving you a clue, or is it 2 more? 2 more. 2 more this type of question. So that's the clue as to how to work it. All right. So Shalicia, I want you to do this one for me now. Read for me, Shalicia.
Okay, Miss. C. What angles are formed by the minute hand and hour hand when it is 8 o'clock? C. What angles are formed by the minute hand and hour hand when it is 8 o'clock?
All right. So now you're armed with that knowledge. So tell me, for 8 o'clock, we know the long hand is o'clock, so the long hand is on the 12. The short hand is on what, Shalicia? For 8
This is on
o'clock.
because it's 8 o'clock.
Short hand is on the 8. Okay. So we want this is angles they want. They want the 2 angles. So
Miss,
we
one
want
of the angles is obtuse.
we want the obtuse. Is it obtuse? It's reflex. It's reflex. The clockwise angle is reflex. The anti-clockwise angle is acute. So we want both of them. All right, so how are we going to calculate them? Are you going to use the hour or the minutes?
Miss the minute.
The hour. Oh,
Minute.
it's not my question.
Well, it's Shalicia's question. So she has.
Yes, Miss Alicia.
I want Shalicia to tell me. Are you going to use what are you going to use to get your fraction? The minutes
Miss the
or the
minutes.
hour? The minutes.
minute.
All right. So we know we count minutes in groups of 5 on the clock.
Yes.
So from the 12 to the 8, that's what? 5, 10,
40 minutes.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it will be 40 over the 60 minutes times 360. Work that out for me, please. Shalicia, tell me your answer. The rest of you, post your answer for me, please. And this is for the reflex angle. For the reflex angle for 8 o'clock, what's the measurement? Are you ready, Shalicia, or you want me to ask somebody else?
Let's ask somebody else actually.
All right, so anybody else want to try?
Me, it's John. Try. John wants to
The
say,
reflex angle, John.
okay. The reflex angle would be 240 degrees. It's 60 into 360. That goes 6 times, and then 6 times 40 is a 240 degrees. Is that all?
Okay, all right. So I'm seeing Rodriguez also saying 240 for the reflex. And if the reflex is 240 degrees, so the clockwise angle, the reflex angle is 240, then the acute angle, which would be anti-clockwise, would be the 360 minus 240. And that's going to give us 120 degrees. All right. So, Jabari,
Yes, Miss. D.
all right.
What
So
angle?
read that question for me, please.
Yes, Miss. D. What angles are formed by the minute hand and hour hand when it is 7 o'clock? D. What angles are formed by the minute hand and hour hand when it is 7 o'clock?
All right. So 7 o'clock, long hand on the 12, short hand on the 7. And we want to work out the clockwise reflex angle, the anti-clockwise acute angle. So, Jabari, how will we work out the reflex angle for 7 o'clock?
Miss,
Are
what
you
we
going to
could
use
do?
the hours or the minutes?
Miss, we can use the hour.
All right, so 7 o'clock is 7 hours out of the full 12 hours
Yes, Miss.
times 360. Work that out for me, please. Tell me what to get.
Yes, Miss. So first we have 12. So we can, so 12 into 12 goes one time, so we cancel 12 and that. 12 into 360, we know that goes 30 times. And what we do is multiply 30 by 7, which is 210.
All right, so the clockwise reflex angle is 210 degrees, this one here. What's the anti-clockwise acute angle?
The anti-clockwise acute angle would be 150 degrees.
How you got that?
That's because if you subtract 210 degrees from 360, you will be left with
And why are we
150.
subtracting it from 360?
Because 360 is a total revolution, or
Okay,
it would make a full circle.
all right. And this is a circular clock, and the hands of the clock go in a circular movement, a rotation, or revolution. So, Jaden, Jaden, not with us. Jaden. Amari, reread for me. Some scholars having difficulty this evening for some reason. Can you see the screen, Amari? Read for me.
Yes, Miss. Miss, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. To insert numbers from the circle to complete the equations in the square. Number 2. Insert numbers from the circle to complete the equations in the square. A 460 plus dash equal 980. B dash times 16 equal 1000. 16 1000 16,000, sorry. C 1.2 minus dash equals 0.987. 35 times 35 equal dash. E E dash plus dash equals 754.
All right. So what's A? What is missing from A? So we're to look in the circle for the numbers that's missing and fill them in to make the number statement correct. So 460 plus what would give 980? What say you? You work it out, Amari?
Miss, I'm working this out now.
All right, I'm seeing some answers coming in
Miss,
speedily. Speedily.
Miss, I would say 980, Miss. Sorry, Miss.
900.
520, Miss. Sorry.
Okay, 520. All right, John B.
Okay, Miss. B dash times 16 is equal to 16,000. Miss, it be 1,000 times
All
16.
right. Okay. Shalicia C.
Okay, number 2. Insert numbers from the circle to complete the equations in the square. Wait, okay. C. 1.2 dash equals 0.987. C. 1.2 minus dash equals 0.97.
Which one of those numbers, when we take it from 1.2, we get 0.97? Anybody else want to try? Shelly says working it out.
Yes, Miss.
Try.
Yes, Miss.
Miss, I know also.
Hold on.
Yes, Miss.
Coleman, is that Coleman or Jabari?
South
Jawari, Miss.
Jabari.
Okay, Jabari, what are you saying for this one?
Miss, for C, my answer is 0.213.
Okay, that's correct. 0.213. John D.
Miss, okay. 35 times 35 is equal to 35 times 35 is equal to this. 1,225. That's the answer.
All right, Amari. E.
Okay. E. What? What? E. Blank plus blank equals 754. E. Blank plus blank equals 754. Miss, I would say 520. and 100.
Those add up to give
600. Prime is
754.
prime is 600. 600 plus
So
150.
600 plus what?
Miss plus 154.
Okay, 600 plus 1 5. All right, so we fill them in. Okay. All right, Shalicia, number 3.
If you wrote
Number
each
3.
letter,
Consider the letters in the word phenomenal. If you wrote each letter on similar pieces of paper and placed them into a box, then picked one
oh,
paper each without returning
phenomenal.
it to the box, what is the
You put that in
probability
the
of
word
picking?
letters.
Number 3. Consider the letters in the word phenomenal. If you wrote each letter on similar pieces of paper and placed them into a box, then picked one paper each time without returning it to the box, what is the probability of picking? A and E, first pick, B and O, second pick, C and N, third pick, D and A, B, D and P, fourth pick. A and E, first pick, B and O, second pick, C and N, third pick, D and P, fourth pick.
2 over 10 for the first one.
Okay. So what's the answer for A? What's the probability of picking an
And 1
E?
over.
So
I
we place each of those letters on a similar piece of paper and put them into a box, shake it up for good measure, and we're going to stick our hand in and select a letter. What's the probability of picking an E on the first pick? What's an important piece of information in this particular question that we must pay attention to?
Mr. Okay,
Hmm?
don't worry.
There's something very important about this particular question that we must pay attention to. Who can tell me what it is?
Miss,
Yes, go ahead.
Miss, the important point is that you didn't return it when you picked it out.
Right. So the important thing is when we pick one of the papers, we are not to return it to the box. So that means how is that going to affect the results? If we are not returning the paper to the box before we pick another paper, how is that going to affect the results? Who can tell me? So normally, when we're doing probability, we're picking something from the box, we pick it, and then we put it back in just before we shake up and make another pick. Isn't that so? This time, we are being told when we pick a letter, we are not to return it to the box. So type your answers or indicate to me if you want to tell me your answer, the outcome for picking an A. So Rodriguez is saying outcome changes. In what way does it change? John, you want to tell us? How does that change the outcome by the fact that we're not returning each card to the box? John?
Don't worry, miss.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let's see. So some persons are saying for A, I'm seeing 2 over 10. I'm seeing, what else am I seeing for A? 1 over 5, which is the same, 2 over 10. So let's see. How many total numbers in the box?
Miss
For
10.
letters, sorry. How many letters in the
Miss
box?
10. 10.
10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And how many E's are there? How many E's in the word phenomenal? 2 E's. So that's 2 out of 10, which cancels to
Miss, there's two
1
E's.
over 4. All right, so it's 1 over 5. All right, so how about what's the probability of picking an O for the second pick? The probability of picking an O for the second.
Miss 1% because it's just one O.
Pardon me?
Miss one of
Miss 1 out
Miss
of
one
10 because it's just one O
10.
there.
All right,
Okay.
so persons are saying 1 over 10 for B. Madison is saying 1 over 8, which is the correct answer, Madison. So those who said 1 over 10, you got tricked because, and a lot of persons are saying 1 over 10. Remember we said we are not returning the letters that we select. So when we take out these 2 E's for the first pick, right? When we take out one card, we take out one card, right? For the first pick. How many are left?
8. So it's 1 out of 8 then.
So it's actually not even 8. It's 9 cards left. Isn't it? 9 cards
Miss
left. When we pick out one card, so let's say we pick out one card, so 9 cards are left. So it will be the probability of picking an O would be what?
Miss 1 out of
It's
9.
1 O. Okay, so it's 1 out of 9. And then how many cards are left now?
Miss 8.
So we took out 2 already. So 8 are left. What's the probability of picking an N?
Miss, an N would be 2 over 8, Miss, which can be reduced to 1 over 4.
All right, so 2 over 8. And how many cards left now? 7. So what's the probability of picking a
Yes,
P?
Miss, 7. 7 should be 1. Miss 1 out of
Okay,
7.
so 1 over. Okay. All right. Jabari, read question 4 for me, please.
Match the triangle with its features: equilateral, isosceles, right, obtuse, scalene, acute. Number 4. Match the triangle with its features: equilateral, isosceles, right, obtuse, scalene, and acute. Okay, for A it says all different sides and angles. Miss,
Read
would
all
that
of them.
be
Read all of them twice. Read A to F and then A to F again.
all different sides and angles? One angle more than 90 degrees. Three angles less than 90 degrees. One 90-degree angle. Three equal angles and sides. Two equal angles and sides. A. All different sides and angles. B. One angle more than 90 degrees. C. Three angles less than 90 degrees. D. One 90-degree angle. E. Three equal angles and sides. F. Two equal angles and sides.
All right, so Jabari, for A, which of the triangles has all different sides and angles? All the sides and angles are different.
Miss, I would believe that would be a scaling triangle.
All right, that's correct. Scalene. All right. Amari B.
Okay, miss. One angle more than 90 degrees. B. One angle more than 90 degrees.
Which triangle has one angle that's more than 90 degrees?
Miss, that's up to you.
Correct. John C.
Okay, C. Three angles less than 90 degrees. C. Three angles less than 90 degrees. Means that would be acute.
All right, so the acute triangle has three acute angles, three angles less than 90 degrees. Shalicia D.
I'm writing them down so you can look up this question.
D. 190 degree angle. D. 190 degree angle.
Which triangle has 190-degree angle?
This is the right angle triangle.
Correct. All right, Jabari E.
Three equal angles and sides. Miss, my answer for that will be equilateral triangle, or just equilateral.
Equilateral triangle. So it's not it's equilateral. Um, Back to you, Amari. F.
Okay, miss. F. Two equal angles and sides. Two equal angles and sides.
Which triangle has two equal angles and two sides that are equal?
Miss, can you hear me?
Yes.
Miss, it's isosceles.
All right. Isosceles.
Miss, don't change it yet. I'm writing it down.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So, Amari, while John is writing, read them now with the answers for me, please, from A to F.
Okay, miss. Number 4. Match the triangle with its features. Number 4. Match the triangle with its features. Equilateral,
Equilateral.
equilateral, isosceles, right, obtuse, scalene, acute. Equilateral, isosceles, right, obtuse, scalene, acute. A. All different sides and angles, scalene. B. One angle more than 90 degrees, obtuse. C. Three angles less than 90 degrees, acute. D. One 190-degree angle, right. E. Three equal angles and sides, equilateral. F. Two equal angles and sides, scalene. Oh, sorry, miss. Isosceles. A. All different sides and angles, scalene. B. One angle more than 90 degrees, obtuse. C. Three angles less than 90 degrees, acute. D. 190-degree angle, right. E. Three equal angle sides, equilateral. F. Two equal angles on side, isosceles. Miss
All right.
Anthony.
Have you written them off, John?
Yes, Miss, I was finished.
All right.
Okay, my turn.
Jabari, question 5.
Yes, miss. Question 5. If I have a number and multiply the answer by 4, would the result be more, less, or equal to the original number? Explain your answer. Number 5. If I have a number and multiply the answer by 4, would the result be more, less, or equal to the original number? Explain your answer.
So if I start with an original number and I half it, and then multiply the answer by 4, the new answer that I get, is that going to be more than my original answer, less than my original answer, or equal to my original answer?
More, Miss.
More,
More,
miss.
Miss.
More.
Are you sure, or you just figure it's going to be more? Did you test it out?
Yes, Miss. Miss, could I explain it?
Yes,
Okay,
miss.
John, explain.
Okay, so Miss, for example, if you have four, Miss, if you have Miss, when you have four, you get two, and then you multiply that times four, Miss, you get eight,
So you
which
say
is
if you
more than
have
three.
4 and you half it, you get 2,
Yes, Miss. Then you
and
multiply that
then you multiply it by 4, you get
Miss, you get eight. Miss, may I please use the
4
bathroom?
times 4 give 8. Yes, Amari.
Miss, you have the four, Miss, you don't just leave it there.
Oh,
Miss, you
oh, sorry. Yeah, so this should be 2. All right. And so you're saying it to be more.
yes, Miss.
Suppose the number was 2.
Miss, if you have two, Miss, half of two, yeah, Miss, Miss, that would be one. And one times four is four. So Miss would be more.
Okay. All right. Suppose the number was 1.
Miss, if you have one, you get one, and you multiply. Miss, a half times four. Wouldn't it be a half times?
So half of 1 is a half
Yes, Miss.
times 4 gives.
Miss, you'd get more. Miss, because a half of four, a half of. Okay, Miss, you did. Yes, Miss would be two.
Okay, so each time we try a number, half it, multiply by 4, we get 2. Okay. Um, all right, I'm not going to try negative numbers at this level, so let's leave that. Let's leave that out, okay? All right, so we're going with more. We're saying if we start with a number, divide the number by 2 or half it, and then multiply that answer by 4, we're going to get a number that's bigger than. All right, John, read the last question for me, please.
Yay! Number six. If I find the root of a number and then double the answer, would the result be more, less, or equal to the original number? Explain your answer. Number six. If I find the root of a number and then double the answer, be more, less, or equal to the original. Miss, what do you mean by find the root, Miss? Miss, do you mean find the square root?
Yeah, the square roots. Yeah, I should have put that in.
Yeah.
So it should be square roots. Thank you, John. So find the square roots.
Okay, Miss, the square root of 4 is 2, and then 2 times 2 is 4.
But usually when it just says root, if it doesn't give any other root, we assume it's square root here.
Okay, Miss. So yeah,
All
that's
right.
it.
So what you
This
saying
should be
now?
equal.
So you're
This should
using
be
an
equal.
example.
Yes, Miss. Miss, I used 4. Miss, I found the square root of 4. This
So when the number is 4, we find the square root of 4, which is 2,
is 2. Yes, Miss, and then 2 times 2
and
is 4.
double
So
it.
it'd be equal.
So we get back 4.
Yes, miss. But
Right.
miss, for example, if you find the square root of 9, you find the
Mm-hmm.
square root of 9, which is 3, and 3 times 2 is 6. Just that one
Mm-hmm.
with the less than the number, miss.
So let's try two more so we can compare.
Okay.
So let's say
Um.
square root of 25.
Okay, miss. Which is 5. So
Mm-hmm.
5 times 2 is 10. That would be less.
Okay, so how about 100?
Okay, square root of 100, which is 10. Then 10 times 2 is 20.
All right, so it seems that this is the one, this is kind of like an odd one out, right?
Yes, miss.
And this is
Because all the rest
because it's a two and you're doubling. So we have a clash going on there because it's two, and usually that's why for this one I was asking what happen if it's a two, because sometimes with the two, especially when you have multiples of two or doubling or anything like that, squaring, you have to check the two and see if it is different or if it adds up to it. So we would say then in most cases, when you find the square root of a number and then multiply that answer by 2, you will get less than the original number, except where it's 4, except the number 4, right? Because the square root of 4 is 2, and 2 times 2 will give us exactly back the 4. Suppose it was 1. Suppose it was 1. Square root of 1 is, what's the square root of 1? Hello, anybody home? Anybody home?
Miss, can you please repeat the question?
Suppose it was 1. Suppose it was number 1.
miss find the square root of 1 is miss the square root of 1 is
Square root
1.
of 1
Miss
is
one.
1.
1.
And then multiply that times 2, which is 2. It'd be more.
So it will be more in this case, right?
Come in the camera.
So is that different? So does that go according to this rule or
No,
not?
miss, it doesn't.
So 1 is also an
Yes,
exception.
yes, miss, it does. Sorry. I was talking
It
rubbish.
goes with the rule.
Yes, miss,
It
I was
goes
talking rubbish.
it
I
goes
was talking.
against the rule, don't?
Miss,
Because
because.
for these three, we were saying we got
Alright,
less than the original number.
we're talking rubbish.
But when the number is 1 and we found the square root of it and multiplied by 2, we got a number that's more than 1. And when the number is 4, we got exactly 4. So based on our findings, we saw 2 exceptions so far. We don't know if there are other exceptions. Like we said, we didn't try, well, you can't find the roots of negative numbers, but for the one prior to this, we could have put in some negative numbers and see if the rule applies, but we're not doing that at this level. But for this one, for positive values, we have found that these two numbers do not obey the rule that most of the other numbers obey. 1 and 4. If you find the square root and multiply by 2, you're going to get a number that is either that's less than in the case of, that's more than in the case of 1, and equal to in the case of 4. For all other numbers, it seems to be you're going to get less than the original number. So that's why you're asked to explain your answer. And don't just try 1 or 2. Whenever you're given a question like this, because as you can see, there we found some exceptions. So don't just try 1 or 2 And don't try numbers that are within the same range. Try some bigger numbers, try some smaller numbers, maybe even put in zero, just to see what's happening. Because some numbers are outliers and they will give you different results from the others, right? And you want to make sure that you are testing the hypothesis carefully and including as many variables as possible to see if it really follows through for all the values. So that's the end of this session for the curriculum-based test. Tomorrow, we will do the critical thinking skills, and Friday we go back to our curriculum-based tests, right? Because I want you scholars to have as much practice as possible for the curriculum-based test. So remember, we said for this month, that is our focus, but we're still going to do our critical thinking skills on Thursdays. All other days during the week, curriculum-based tests for the month of April. All right, scholars. So thank you as usual for staying with me and sharing your answers and your thoughts. Thanks to those in studio, even though some persons, the mics weren't working. And I know it's really annoying because you have so much to say and you want to participate and the mic is not allowing you, but we have to ride with it. Sometimes that happens. We just have to ride with it. So Jaden, for example, he went over into the chat and he was still doing his thing, right? So when one avenue doesn't work, you just cut into another channel and see how you can get the thing done, right? So thanks for joining me. I'm seeing Chrissy K, Nia Rodriguez, John Mark, Deja, Mr. Turtle, Julie, Jonathan, Ajani, all you guys. I appreciate your company very much. And I'm going to see you tomorrow. Yes, Coleman, we have to keep the ball rolling. So if you try one thing, it's not working, you try something else, right? So Jaden was in the studio, his mic wasn't working, so I'm just say, all right, let me do something else. And he went over into the chat and he was posting his comments and his answers, right? So we have to be flexible like that. Oh, I'm just seeing Nia's explanation. She's saying, but she's not telling me which number. So Nia was saying more because if you have a number, you divide it by 2, but when you multiply it by 4, it would be like multiplying the original number by 2. Okay, so that would have been question 5. So that's absolutely correct, Nia. And Mr. Turtle also gave an explanation. He's saying more because when you divide, you get less, and when you multiply, you get more. And the last part said multiply half by 4. All right, so if we half it, we're just dividing it by 2. But then if we go and multiply it by 4, that's a different ball game. If it had said half it and then multiply by 2, what would have been the result in that case? If we had said, we think of a number, we half it, and then we multiply by 2, would the answer be more, less, or equal? If you have something and then you multiply it by 2, right, it will be the same because those two operations are exact opposite to each other. They cancel each other out. So to divide by 2 or half something and then go and multiply by 2 again, you're canceling out the original operation. All right, scholars, thanks as usual, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
See you tomorrow, Miss, and tonight. And tomorrow again.
I'll see you tonight in the CSEC class, John.
Yes, Miss.
And that will be in about 2 minutes. In about 2 minutes. All right. So I'll see you then.
Bye, Miss.
Bye. So as usual, scholars, here is the schedule of live classes, which I always love to play for you so you can stay on top of things and you know when to tune in and what session. Hello CSEC math students, I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC Math. We're going to look at the common errors, demystify everything, make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello scholars, did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand.